So the inspiration behind this topic was obviously it's Valentine's Day. And so we wanted to do an episode on love, but I wanted to spin it. It's a lot of discussion, chatter out there about Beyonce. So if you don't know, Beyonce she dropped the album not too long ago, and she has just announced she's going to be doing a world tour, and she just dropped tickets. But with her and this concert and these tickets.
Welcome to the Clear and Air podcast with D and Q.
I'm D.
I'm Q. Hey man, happy Valentine's Day to those out there, those lovers. Today, we're going to talk about love, but we're switching it up a little bit. Okay, so strange enough, I feel like whether you're talking about love between individuals, if you're talking about love between individuals, there is another type of love that happens to be involved, even when you're talking about love between individuals. Love of things, love of things. So today, we're going to talk about love. We're going to talk about it in a materialistic way, in a value type of way. So, kick it off. What we talking about today, man?
Hey, we talking about like fandom. We talking about fandom, that different kind of love. Lovers of your favorite celebrities, your favorite artists, your favorite musician, your favorite sports teams. So that's the type of love we're talking about today. Love, or we could say loyalty as well. It can be loyalty. How loyal are you to a certain thing or person? So
I like that.
yeah, like that. And I want to say the inspiration that I got this topic from.
You sure you want to go there? You sure you want to go there?
I would.
Yeah. Don't spoil it.
All right.
Y'all stay tuned. Okay. Well, since we're talking about that, I'll start it off by asking you, what do you feel you are loyal to, whether it be a brand, whether it be, an athlete, whether it be a celebrity? What do you feel you're loyal to?
You mean what or who? You want me to run down the list?
What or who? Just give us some ideas so we can kick this thing off.
I won't be specific just yet, but I think I'm loyal to things or people that I can relate to. Maybe it's something or someone that I looked up to. It may be something that was a memory from my childhood that I kind of relate to even now as I'm older. It just kind of depends, but I think it's a lot to do with if you can relate to that person, or if you admire that person, or if it played a role in your, growing up.
I like that you went there, because when, there's oftentimes, and we're not old, but you could watch a movie, it could take you back. You could listen to a song, it could take you back. It could be a pair of clothing, some type of clothing item that could take you back. It could be a brand that could take you back. I know me personally, there's some things that I think I was just talking to my wife about. And it's just certain things that put you in a certain mindset. So it's funny that you say that, because I can think of a few things that take me back, whether it be movies that I can relate to and tie back to my childhood, whether it be a song, whether it be a brand, maybe some clothing. So many different ways that you could go with things. So let's dive into it. So what are some of those things that you would maybe specifically bring up or that comes to mind that you are loyal to?
You want me to start with childhood stuff? You want me to start with sports teams? You want me to start with people?
Wherever you want to go, bro.
All right. Let's start with childhood or growing up, because that's kind of maybe where a lot of stuff originated from. Being born and raised in Jersey, my favorite rapper is, as you can see, Redman, Reggie Noble. He is Brick City's own. He was everything up there. He is still my favorite. It's so crazy. I just bought this cassette. I just bought this, man. I know, right? Just for a nostalgia piece. I just bought this. It's a cult classic. A lot of people love this album. I like it too. But it's a cult classic because of that red album cover. So I bought this. I am a New York Knicks fan. Patrick Ewing is my favorite. And growing up in Jersey, we all had to have these. We had to have these Ewings, the blue suede with the Ewing 33 on the back. As you can see, these have never been worn, still got the tag on it, the basketball. So to this day, I'm still a hardcore New York Knicks fan, and Patrick Ewing is still my favorite player. Growing up, my favorite movie, and yes, I do have the DVD. My favorite movie of all time is House Party. It is the very first rated R movie I saw in the theater. It is still my favorite movie of all time. Yeah.
Which one? Because I'm going.
No, it's only one. I couldn't find it, but I have one still shrink wrapped. I will never open it. Then I have this because it's the complete set. We're not watching DVDs no more, but I do have it, and we don't count part 4.
We do not count part 4.
It's still my favorite movie of all time. It helped shape me, help define me. Probably a big reason of who I am and what I do today. I do have this, my favorite sitcom growing up, Martin, complete set. I do have this, and this is not open either as well.
Wow.
But yeah, this was my favorite sitcom growing up. So I do have this. Some other things, you see the Aviators. Y'all know I love Puff Daddy, Sean Diddy Combs. He was huge growing up. He's somebody I still rock with very heavy. So I got the Aviators, Sean John Aviators on for him. Obviously, y'all know I'm very loyal to my blue dot, blue dot, blue dot, blue dot. It's never too far away from me. We do the big bottles. But also, showing a lot of love to Duce right now as well. So very loyal to my brands. They showing love to me, so I'm just showing love back. And they both are brands of successful Black men. So we supporting that Black businesses with that.
Black History Month, yes sir.
History Month, yes sir. Some other stuff. I'm always rep the alma mater. So got some of that. Yeah. And I'm just showing alcohol, but I got other things. I'm a huge Oregon Ducks fan.
I was waiting
by the green and yellow right here.
Mm-hmm.
Got the coasters right here. Plenty of that stuff. I'm always gonna rep us, of course. Definitely loyal to us. And I'm very loyal to Nike. You will not catch me ever in any other. Plain and simple. You just will not. You won't.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And some people like, why are you so loyal to these? Like, they not, they not cutting you a check, this and that. You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know. And now they be like, oh yeah, okay, now I see. Exactly. So hush your mouth. Hush your mouth. We make moves out here. We've been making moves out here. So don't play yourself. But yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Okay. So you bring up another thing that is smooth to transition into, which is, in what ways do you support them? Now, I could answer some of that. And the way you see him dressed, y'all have heard Blue Dot plenty of times on the podcast as he
Blue
takes
that,
a
blue
sip,
that, blue that.
as he takes a sip.
And then I take a sip. It's never too far away.
You see the headband. If y'all did not get a chance to see the birthday episode that we did, he was rocking ducks, at least the colors from head to toe, as we went into the Nike store in New York.
Right.
You
Hold on,
know,
I got one more. I forgot one more thing. I am a huge
oh,
49ers fan as well. So
even after they lost and are not in the Super Bowl.
yes. And I'm definitely heard about that, but we was on our third and fourth string quarterback. We still okay. Oh yeah. And it's still in Cap we trust. Don't get it twisted. Yeah. 49ers all day. All right.
So to not speak for you, like in what ways do you support them? Like what ways do you show support?
Redman, anytime he drop a project, if he's performing anywhere close, I'll go. Funny story, this past summer, him and Meth actually had a show here in Virginia on a Saturday, and it was my boy's wife. She was celebrating a milestone birthday 5 hours away in Myrtle Beach. And I had already committed to that before it dropped about the Red and Meth show.
Got you.
I had a dilemma because they was in my city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I pretty much went to Myrtle Beach for the night. 5 hours down Friday, 5 hours back Saturday. Made it for the show. Show was crazy. Met Red in the back, chopped it up for a little bit. Got my
word.
Yeah. So that was a pretty dope experience last summer. Diddy, obviously, just the music, Bad Boy, whatever he got going on, to rock, all that. My teams, watch them, attend the games whenever I can. I've been to several 49er games, several Duck games, actually. They played in DC at Georgetown years ago. I went, me and my best friend. They played at UVA years ago, football and basketball. The basketball game, I actually took my parents, and then the football game, my boy came with me. Knicks games, I've been to a couple in Madison Square Garden, definitely in DC. I think I've actually went to one in Miami too. Ewing, he's now coaching Georgetown, so I try to catch a game every once in a while. Hopefully they turn that around. I actually just saw them the other weekend. They played UConn. Shout out to my boy who played at UConn for the crazy seats. We was right behind the UConn bench. That was crazy. Yeah. So I'm just, because I'm loyal to and obviously Nike. Like I said, you won't catch me in any other athletic brand or anything on my foot. When I'm on the court, Nike head to toe. Yeah. So yeah, I just, if I rock with it, I support it. I do.
I can attest to that. So let me back it up some.
Okay. And now hold on, you ain't give me none of your favorites and how
that's what we about to do. That's what we about to do.
Okay,
so for me, it's a little bit different. My answers are gonna be, I don't want to say eclectic, but it's just gonna be different. It's like a different perspective. So for me, I feel like I'm loyal to God. Okay. I feel like, no.
You went there on me. Yo, you went there on me. I'm up here talking about
No, not, but because I'm gonna go some other places, but I think just based on my life, that's what I'm loyal to. Okay, to be specific, Jesus, Christian. So for me, that's what I'm loyal to, and my life kind of reflects that. So, like how we podcast, we shoot late at night. You might catch me up studying, for different things I'm attached to. I lead a group of guys on Mondays. 6 o'clock calls. It's for the fellas, much like how this podcast is for. And it's just, part of that studying is so that I could learn more, so that I could feed more. You know what I'm saying? So again, we really do this, the purpose of this podcast thing outside of just the podcast. I'm loyal to stuff like cities. I'm from Boston. I live in Maryland now. My wife gets on me and say, "You gotta stop saying you from there. You've been in Maryland longer than you stayed in Boston." That's true, but I'll never forget my roots, and I'll never forget those childhood things that really did shape me.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
experiences I had, things that I was exposed to. So Orlando sticks out for me big time too,
You,
and
you
you know that.
you have some weird fascination with Orlando.
But I'm gonna tell you this though. What's crazy about it is, and we've talked about this. In some ways, I prefer Fort Lauderdale because Orlando was more or less like a college or a childhood thing because of the career that I was looking to go into, which was hotels, which that's another thing. But based on that is why I wanted to go there. Now, for reasons I won't go into, I'm glad my life played out the way that it is, that I'm not actually there, but I have some important people that are down towards that way. For my daughter's birthday, we were there, Universal Studios, matching hoodies with my wife. But I think it was just dope. And it's tough for me when I go there because I'm like, what would it have been like? Your mind goes there. If I had to live there, if I had to move there, what would life be like? So stuff like that.
You just love everything but Miami.
Nope.
Terrible.
Nope. Fort Lauderdale's good. That's suburb of Miami. I'm good.
30 minutes away and not go.
An hour. But yeah.
Without
So right. So I think my family, bro, I'm loyal to. So, just kind of the effort that it takes to manage that. That's where a lot of my time goes into now. And so so watch this. When I say family, that's not just, of course, obviously my immediate family, but that's why Boston still has my heart, because I have a mom there. I have two of my siblings there, uncles, and like where a lot of the core of who I was, like that's where you know, that's where that love comes from. My grandmother, both my grandmothers, who are 80 something years old, inching close to 90, you know. So, that's when you talk about loyalty or fandom, what you're loyal to, stuff like that. Okay, you got, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say Braun, but at first it was Wade, but since he's retired, it's kind of like, dang. So with Braun, it's kind of like when they team together, I kind of follow him. Now, I will tell you this, I'm a little upset with myself, not you, because you've been trying to get me to go. When you say, to what lengths would you go to support? Well, let's go back. So for me, it's, yeah, I will go to a game. I would even travel and go to a game. I have not done so, but I would. I think another thing when you talk about, family or cities, that drive to Boston is 6 to 8 hours. I went 2, 3 times in 2022, tired, but I'm on that road, so stuff like that. Um, Movies, bro, you brought up one, and one that we definitely got to do a podcast breakdown of, Boomerang. So there's a loyalty kind of to Eddie Murphy, so in supporting him. So what's weird is I kind of would have clapped back like how your boy was Brandy's brother, Ray J. How he clapped back on Tyrese. I might not go that far, but I would go and support, or I might give you a pass if you said something that was borderline. whatever. So that's the length in which I would go. So I mean, we could keep on going, bro, when it comes to that, but just certain things again that take you back to childhood. I mean, granted, we shouldn't have been watching. I shouldn't have been watching Boomerang when I was watching it,
Yeah.
but it is something that I watched and I enjoyed, and I think again, those are those comedians that we saw that have shaped us even now that we will support. We'll go and see the movies and all of that. So
Yeah, bro.
yeah,
Top 5 all time, bro.
yeah, I believe it.
Might be
I
top.
believe it. I believe it. So let me ask you this: is there anything with that you've mentioned, and this will cover anything? Do you believe that you are a diehard fan, diehard Nick fan, diehard Duck fan, diehard Ewing fan? Do you believe you are?
You know what, man? I'm diehard, but I'm also realistic. You know what I mean? You know, you gotta be being a Knick fan because we haven't won a lot. We haven't won since like I think 1970. You know, uh 49ers, we have some success, just went to the Super Bowl 3 years ago. We won 5 titles. Only other team that has won more is your team, the Patriots. You know, so but when it comes to sports, I had to kind of curtail those expectations because it's like I'm not on the field playing. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And just you know, especially professional sports, because I'm like, these dudes live great lives. They going home to their mansion, this and that. I'm not. I just had to curb. It hurts. Don't get me wrong. It hurts, bro. It hurts when they lose, but I just curb. I had to curb my
Mhm.
expectations with that. So I am a fan. I support them as much as possible. I wouldn't say I'm a super fan because I have to be real too. I can't live in this ideal world and think that my teams are going to win it every year.
Well, I think this is a nice little segue.
Huh?
I think when you say curtailing it, are there limits to your support? And it sounds like you're saying yes. So, for example, you know, like you said, I like the idea to be able to splurge and say, you know what, this is a little bit more expensive than I would imagine I would want to pay. But you know what, this one time I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Do you feel that you are that way?
Yes and no. Yes and no. There are certain things I will splurge over. As you know, a lot of it is with sneakers. Or certain experiences. Yes, I will. Then there's certain things I won't because I don't want to. If I'm disappointed, I'm gonna be thinking about, man, I spent all this money for disappointment. You know what I mean? So I was just having this conversation with my sports teams. Very rarely do I go see them on the road
Bet.
unless I
I
know
got
it's over a better team and they got a good chance of winning. Because you know, just being around all those other team fans, and then if your team getting
Patriots
beat or
fan.
blown out, yeah, getting beat or blown out, and you just got to deal with that and doing that, and you done paid all this money for these tickets, and please don't tell me you travel like you flew somewhere and this and that, So I will curb it like that. I did go a few years ago. I was down in Miami for the Super Bowl when the 49ers lost to the Chiefs. And it was such a gut wrenching loss, such a gut wrenching
Mm,
feeling, bro. I just was like, ugh.
yeah.
And then 2 months later, the world shut down. The
Mhm,
pandemic hit, right? So,
mhm,
so yeah. But there are times when I'll just go and I'll just with the Knicks, they just have so many fans, and a lot of times they play in cities that have a lot of transplants. So like I've
mm,
seen the Knicks play in Atlanta, and half the arena is Knicks fans. Same
mm.
with DC. You know what I mean? Because they're just Knicks fans everywhere. 49er games, I will definitely go see them on the road because they take over stadiums. They're the not bang bang Niner game, the gold rush. They take over stadiums. I went and saw them in Charlotte this year, back in
Mm,
October, and they won
mm,
that game. And the city was red, not just the stadium. The city was red and gold, bro.
That's
So
what's up.
so yeah, yeah. But like my Ducks were in the BCS championship. I want to say in like 2014, the very first one.
Hmm.
They were playing Ohio State, and my boy is a diehard Ohio State fan. He's like, "Let's go to the game." I couldn't go, but even if I could, I don't think I would have went because I would have had to get to Dallas, pay
Yeah.
crazy amounts for them tickets, and
Hmm.
Ohio State was just too good that year, bro. Like, I wasn't feeling too confident about us beating them. They were just on a roll. They were hot that year. So yeah, I was like, nah, bro. And he went. I was like, good, you had that. I try not to set myself up for failure, bro.
True. So that's the perfect segue to get into what you would have said earlier, which is the inspiration behind this.
Right. So the inspiration behind this topic was obviously it's Valentine's Day, or it's that time of year where we celebrate Valentine's Day. And so we wanted to do an episode on love, but I wanted to spin it. And it's a lot of discussion, chatter out there about Beyonce. So if you don't know, Beyonce she dropped the album not too long ago, and she has just announced she's going to be doing a world tour, and she just dropped tickets. So, also she just recently became the person to win the most Grammys. If I hope I'm saying that right. So she's been in the news lately, but with her and this concert and these tickets, they I I I'm gonna say this and let me know if you agree. Currently, the key word is currently. I don't know if there's another artist that evokes so much emotion as much as Beyonce does. Whether it's positive, negative, indifferent, she causes some kind of emotion with so many people, bro.
Agreed.
And so, obviously, when it comes to these tickets, which are pretty steep, people are just kind of all over the place. So you're gonna have your hardcore fans, the Beehive, who are just, they got to get these tickets at all costs because Queen Bee is on
Mm.
tour, so she got to be seen, right? Now, mind
Right.
you, she's only performing in like arenas, like NFL arenas, so far that I've seen. Like she's performing in FedEx and DC, Meadowlands, and in Jersey, the Panther Stadium in Charlotte. Like she's performing in these huge like NFL
Hmm.
stadiums, right?
Yep.
So you have that side who is like extreme Beyonce fans, pro Beyonce, who would do anything to get these tickets.
Hmm.
You have the extreme opposite, the other side, who are just like, you know, y'all be acting like she God, she's the devil, she too provocative. Why y'all willing to not pay your rent and mortgage or go broke or not pay
Hmm.
your bills to get these tickets? And like it's just crazy. And then you have the people that are right in the middle who just kind of indifferent, who like Beyonce, like her music.
Right.
If they get a ticket and get to see her, cool. If not, I'm okay. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
but it was just interesting to see the range, the scope in which people were talking about this same situation. And
Hmm.
so I broached it with you. I was like, bro, let's talk about that. Let's talk about love of, you know, our favorite celebrities, our favorite athletes, our favorite whatever,
Yeah.
and how our thoughts on that, and how much we were willing to risk to support someone that we quote unquote love.
Yeah. Um, you're definitely right. She does. She really does call for a lot of attention. You got the Beehive, who seemingly would kill for her. You say something online, you
Better
liable
not.
to
You better not. You're gonna have
look.
a million bees in your joint.
Right. You liable to, definitely have uh the Beehive at your neck. So, yeah. And then, like you said, you've got, I guess you can say I don't know if you'd say the Christian side, or the people who would oppose her. You've got those who love her, she can't do anything wrong, and then you have those who essentially can find things to criticize,
But you
which
know what though, bro? Real quick, it's not even like Christians per se. It's just it's like regular people who just don't rock with her and don't think she's over. I mean, just think she's overrated and think she's the devil and you know part of the Illuminati.
yeah,
And
that whole Illuminati stuff with
yeah, yeah,
Jay-Z
yeah.
and stuff too.
It's just some people just don't. They think she overrated and they don't rock with her. They
Yeah,
think she can't sing. They think Rihanna's better. It's just like, come on, man.
yeah,
Come on, brother.
yeah,
What are we doing
yeah,
right
yeah. I look, I don't really get into it. There's things I could say. I won't. Shout out to her for winning. She's got 28 Grammys. So shout out to her for that. Black History, it's a big
now?
deal.
Right, right. That was
That's
another reason I wanted to do it because Black History Month. Whatever you think about it, bro, she is a major part of Black history. She is a
yeah,
legend. She is an icon.
yeah,
She's one of the best entertainers we have had.
yeah. So you talking about you know her doing something that's iconic. Obviously, there are people who love her enough to support her in that way. I don't know about supporting and them ticket sales. A lot of bread, but
But you know what? A lot of people were saying y'all just over exaggerated. There were some cheap tickets out there. And I guess it
well,
depends on the city that was out there,
yeah,
or if you sitting, maybe in the nosebleeds or whatever. It I,
yeah,
it evoked so much emotion, bro. And it was just
hmm
like, man, just if people are being financially responsible, just be happy for them and move on, bro. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like they forcing you to buy a ticket. You know, my all right. So my homegirl, she is a huge Beyonce fan. Dare I say,
hmm
she's part of the Beehive. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if she would say that, but she is a huge Beyonce fan. So when the news dropped, world stopped for her. And I think
hmm
she would had like three different, like a phone, computer, iPad, all that was up because it's like a pre-sale thing. You know what I mean?
right,
And I think she postponed or moved around some other plans she had to make sure she had the bread for some tickets. But her and her girl, they got some tickets. And I was
right,
happy for her. I'm like, cool. You gonna
yeah,
get to go. You can make it a girls' trip, a girls' weekend, and you get
yeah.
to see, your favorite.
I think what it is you know the fact that we know that there are those high tickets out there. Nobody's not talking about it if the tickets are low, $5, $10, $20, $100. But
Right.
I think when you start talking about um, you know, those high tickets, it does stand out, and it does evoke conversation, like you say, be it negative or positive. So I leave personal comments about things out of this.
Right.
Again, I'll just say this much, congratulations to her for just really being in a position to accomplish what she's accomplished. As a Black woman
For
in
sure.
the times that we're living in,
For sure.
we are witnessing Black history,
For sure.
and that's a podcast for itself. But we're witnessing Black history. Um, we'll go there later, but you got LeBron who's inching towards passing Kareem. So I think being able to see Black history, not hear about it, and not live in that era, I think there's a bit of recognition that we need to be aware of when it comes to certain things, because we are living in a time where, as crazy as life can be, you have people who can provide entertainment. You have people who are somebody to talk about.
Yep.
Okay.
Check this
So,
out. Check this out. Let me say this real quick. Um, Beyonce's tours. These are how much they have grossed.
mhm,
2003, 3 million. 2007, 90 million. 2009, 119 million.
Mhm.
2013 to 2014, 229 million. In
Jesus.
2016, 256 million.
Mm.
So, bro, she went from 3 million to 256 million in 13 years
Yeah.
in 5 tours. Now, whatever you think about her, bro, that's a grind. That's that's a come up, you know. And what
Yeah.
happened? She been putting out quality music, quality projects, been in movies, you know, major tours. You know, this we can celebrate folks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We can
Yeah.
celebrate folks. You know,
Yeah.
but that was the inspiration um, behind the topic today. You know,
Yeah.
so just to put a different spin on love.
For sure.
You know, that fandom aspect.
As we clear the air, I will say this. I think you kind of really cleared it on what you just said and how we ended that.
Right.
I do want to say, as we said last year, whether you celebrate Valentine's Day or not, it is another excuse, not that you need one or should need one, to love on those that you have selected as being most special in your life, either at the time or who have that lifetime achievement position in your life. Again, do I really celebrate Valentine's Day? Do I do things on a day-to-day basis for my daughters? And my wife, of course I do. So those are my Valentine's Day. Shout out to my wife and both of my daughters. So with no further ado, I would like to say, make sure, make sure that you're following us on all social media platforms. Make sure that you're subscribing. Don't just watch. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're checking us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Got a lot of stuff coming up, and we do appreciate your feedback. So make sure if there are topics, men, that you want to hear us talk about, please hit us up, email us, DM us, leave comments on whatever social media platforms you frequent. That being said, we out.
Peace.